who ignored you will chase you. Love reversal energy shift, ladies and gentlemen. Tonight, I want to speak about a force so powerful, so subtle, yet so transformative that it can completely shift the dynamics of love and relationships in your life. This is the energy that can turn indifference into desire, distance into pursuit, and disregard into devotion. Many of us have experienced the sting of being overlooked, ignored, or undervalued by someone whose attention we once craved. It leaves a mark on our hearts, creates doubts, and sometimes convinces us that we are unworthy of love. But I am here to tell you that this is not the end of the story. It is the beginning of a powerful transformation. You see, love is not merely something that happens to us. It is not controlled solely by another person's actions or choices. True love, magnetic love, begins within. It is born in the silent chambers of your consciousness, in the feelings you carry about yourself and the reality you imagine for your life. When you understand this, when you truly grasp that the energy you emit is what draws love into your life, the entire game changes. Suddenly, the one who ignored you will not remain indifferent. The energies you thought were fixed and immutable begin to bend and realign. Attraction becomes effortless. Desire is drawn naturally toward you, as if you have always held a power that they could not resist. Many of us think that attention must be earned through effort, persuasion, or convincing another person of our worth. But the truth is far simpler and infinitely more powerful. When you shift your inner state, when you cultivate a feeling of being deeply cherished, magnetic, and whole within yourself, your outer world inevitably follows. The law is absolute. Your inner reality produces your outer circumstances. The one who once overlooked you does not resist this shift. They are drawn to it because your energy has changed. Your presence begins to radiate a vibration of desirability, confidence, and irresistible allure. Tonight, I will guide you through the principles that allow this shift to occur. I will show you how to move from longing to magnetism, from desire to embodiment, from being ignored to being sought after. This is not about manipulation or coercion. It is about alignment. It is about stepping fully into the energy of love, worth, and self-possession, and allowing that energy to ripple outward. When you learn to live in this state, you will witness a remarkable reversal. The one who ignored you will be the one reaching out, intrigued, captivated, and drawn to the love and light you now embody. Ladies and gentlemen, tonight is about awakening to that power within you, the power that transforms relationships, elevates your energy, and reverses the dynamics of love in ways that feel almost miraculous. By the end of this talk, you will see that love is not something to chase. It is something to radiate, to live, and to embody. And when you do, those who once turned away will come running, compelled by the undeniable energy that you now command. Your inner feeling creates outer reality, the first principle that governs love, attraction. And the reversal of energy is simple yet profound. Your inner feeling creates your outer reality. Everything that unfolds in your life, every glance, every word, every action of others, is a reflection of the vibrational state you carry within. If someone has ignored you, rejected you, or failed to notice your presence, it is not a condemnation of your worth. It is a signal of the energy you have been projecting, whether consciously or unconsciously. Most people believe that love is something that must be earned externally, that it depends on effort, persuasion, or external circumstances. But the truth is far more astonishing. Love is drawn to the person who embodies it internally. The one who once ignored you is not resistant to your presence. They simply had nothing reflected within you that resonated with their attention. Your job is not to chase, beg, or plead for recognition. Your job is to cultivate the inner feeling of being magnetic, desirable, and deeply loved. Consider the moments when you felt truly alive, when you radiated confidence, joy, or passion. How did people respond? Notice that attention flowed naturally toward you without effort. That same principle applies in love. Your inner state, your feeling of being cherished, attractive, and worthy, sets the stage for how others perceive you. It is your invisible aura, your unspoken energy, that communicates your value. Once this energy is aligned, those who ignored you cannot help but notice. They are drawn to the radiance you carry. It is essential to understand that feeling is the core of creation. Thought alone cannot move love into your life. You can imagine being pursued. You can hope and pray for attention. But until you feel it deeply in every fiber of your being, the universe will not respond. Feeling is the engine that drives manifestation. If you carry the feeling of being ignored, you will continue to attract neglect. But if you carry the feeling of being adored, pursued, and desired, reality will rearrange itself to match that vibration. Many people make the mistake of trying to influence others externally. They send messages, make gestures, or attempt to prove their worth. But these actions are weak compared to the power of internal feeling. Love flows not from proving yourself, but from being fully embodied in the state you desire. When you feel magnetic, confident, and cherished, the energy you radiate is irresistible. The person who ignored you will feel an invisible pull, as if something about your presence commands attention and admiration. Let us examine what it means to embody this feeling. First, you must shift your focus inward. Do not look to the one who ignored you as the source of validation. Instead, see yourself as complete, radiant, and worthy of attention. Imagine the love you desire as already present within you. Feel it as though it exists now in this moment rather than in some distant future. The more real this feeling becomes internally, the faster it manifests externally. Second, recognize the law of reflection. Life mirrors back the state you occupy. If you feel small, overlooked, or undeserving, the world reflects that energy. But when you occupy the opposite state, confident, magnetic, and cherished, the reflection changes. You become a magnet for love, attention, and desire. The one who ignored you is simply responding to the new reality you are holding within. Their behavior is a mirror of your inner transformation. It is also vital to release resentment or anger toward those who ignored you. These emotions keep you tethered to the old vibration of neglect. When you dwell on past slights, you reinforce the energy of rejection. Instead, forgive and release. See the person who ignored you as a participant in your unfolding story, not as a barrier. This liberation allows your energy to rise to a level where attraction becomes inevitable. Daily practice of this principle is transformative. Begin by imagining yourself in moments of being pursued and adored. Feel the joy of their attention, the warmth of their affection, the excitement of their desire. Allow the imagination to saturate every cell of your being. Do not worry about timing, methods, or how it will occur. Your task is not to control the external world, but to align with the feeling of the desired state internally. Your inner feeling also governs subtle cues you send into the world: the way you carry yourself, the tone of your voice, the way you smile, the way you meet another's gaze. These are all reflections of your internal state. When your energy is magnetic, these cues naturally communicate worth, desirability, and irresistible charm. Attraction becomes effortless because it emerges organically from your being. Many have observed this phenomenon without understanding it. Someone who seemed indifferent suddenly becomes drawn, attentive, and even eager to connect. This is not coincidence. It is the result of an energy reversal initiated by your inner shift. As you cultivate self-love, magnetism, and confidence, the universe responds. You are no longer pursuing love. Love is pursuing you. Finally, remember that this is not about changing others. It is about changing yourself. The one who ignored you is a mirror, reflecting the vibrational state you hold. By raising your energy, by feeling loved and magnetic internally, you naturally invite them into the reality you now inhabit. This is the essence of love reversal energy. What was once distant becomes attracted. What was once indifferent becomes captivated. And what was once overlooked becomes irresistible. Every person has the power to create this shift. It begins with your inner feeling and radiates outward until it transforms your relationships. Ignore the external actions for now. Focus on the energy within. Feel yourself loved, desired, and magnetic. Live in that state, and the outer world will inevitably align. This is the moment where the unseen becomes visible, where inner reality dictates outer circumstances, and where the one who ignored you will naturally be drawn to the light, energy, and love you now radiate. The power of imagination to rewrite love. Imagination is far more than a mental escape or idle daydream. It is the most potent instrument in shaping your reality, especially when it comes to love. The person who ignored you is not bound by their previous behavior. They are simply reflecting the state you have held within your consciousness. To reverse this energy, to create the magnetic pull that draws them toward you, requires that you step into the unseen realm of imagination, crafting the reality you desire as though it already exists. Many people underestimate the creative force of imagination. They believe that love is a matter of timing, circumstance, or chance. But the unseen world, the world of feeling and imagination, governs the visible world entirely. Every glance, every word, every encounter is an effect of an underlying cause. the state of consciousness you inhabit. When you imagine the love you desire with all the richness of emotion, you are planting seeds that will inevitably bloom into the external world. The first step in wielding this power is to see the person who ignored you as already captivated. Do not dwell on past rejection or indifference. Instead, imagine moments where they cannot resist your presence, where they are drawn to your laughter, your warmth, your energy. Visualize scenarios that fill you with the feeling of being adored, noticed, and pursued. The more vivid, detailed, and emotionally charged your imagination, the stronger its pull on reality. It is not enough to simply picture them sending a message or showing attention. Imagination must engage the senses and emotions fully. Feel the excitement in your chest as you envision their gaze lingering on you. Hear the words they would speak if they were utterly captivated. Sense the magnetic connection in every touch, every conversation, every shared laugh. When imagination is lived in the present tense, with all the intensity of reality, it bypasses resistance and impresses the subconscious mind, the engine of manifestation, with the certainty of the outcome. Many people resist using imagination in this way because it feels unnatural or even audacious. They think, how can I imagine someone who ignored me as being drawn to me? But consider this: the one who ignored you is not resisting your imagination. They are simply outside the story you have been holding. By shifting your internal narrative, you rewrite the script that the universe follows. The law is simple: what you feel and imagine with certainty manifests in the external world. The imagination must be paired with the feeling of reality. It is not enough to see it with your mind alone. You must feel it in your body, in your heart, in your very being. When you imagine with this level of intensity, you create a magnetic field that the world cannot ignore. The person who once overlooked you becomes irresistibly drawn to the energy you now radiate. They may not understand why, but they cannot resist the pull of the reality you are embodying internally. Repetition and consistency are crucial. Imagination is most powerful when it is practiced daily, preferably in a state of calm and focused awareness. Before sleep, during quiet moments, or in meditative stillness, allow your imagination to unfold as if it is already real. See it, feel it, and dwell in it until the emotions saturate every cell of your body. The subconscious mind, which governs your outer reality, cannot distinguish between vivid imagination and actual experience. It responds to what you impress upon it with feeling, and reality begins to mirror the internal scene. It is also important to detach from the how. Many people stumble because they worry about timing, circumstances, or whether the person will behave exactly as imagined. Imagination works by impressing the subconscious. It does not dictate the mechanics of the external world. When you imagine the love you desire, the universe orchestrates circumstances, events, and interactions to bring that reality into being. The one who ignored you is drawn not because you control them, but because your energy has shifted, and the external world cannot resist a well anchored in a reality. Imagination should be immersive, alive, and joyous. It should not feel like a chore or forced ritual. See yourself as vibrant, magnetic, and utterly captivating. Picture moments of intimacy, attention, and affection flowing naturally toward you. Imagine not with longing or desperation, but with the certainty that what you see is inevitable. The energy of anticipation, excitement, and certainty is the magnet that draws the outer world into alignment. Another critical aspect is mental revision. Whenever you recall moments of being ignored or overlooked, replay them in your imagination as if they had occurred differently. See yourself being noticed, appreciated, and adored. Rewrite the memory so that it aligns with the reality you wish to experience. Mental revision is a powerful tool because the mind holds on to past impressions as reality. By revising these memories with imagination and feeling, you change the blueprint that your subconscious mind uses to construct your outer world. The beauty of imagination is that it places you in complete control of your energy and your love life. You do not need to chase, persuade, or manipulate anyone externally. The one who ignored you is responding only to the energy you emit. When your imagination is vivid, consistent, and filled with feeling, your inner world becomes the source from which external circumstances inevitably flow. Love, attention, and desire are drawn to you effortlessly because your energy has been transformed internally. Imagination also teaches patience and alignment. The world often seems slow to respond, but the unseen realm is always active. As you immerse yourself in the feeling of the desired reality, the universe begins to shift behind the scenes. Your outer circumstances rearrange subtly at first, then more obviously until the one who ignored you notices, reaches out, or is drawn irresistibly to your presence. The shift occurs naturally because your inner reality has become undeniable. Finally, remember that imagination is not a fantasy for the sake of escape. It is a creative tool of manifestation. When you imagine the love you desire, when you feel it as though it is already present, you are speaking the language of the universe. The one who ignored you is not resisting, they are responding to the undeniable frequency of your imagination made real through feeling. The reversal is inevitable, the attraction undeniable, and the energy shift complete when you master the art of living fully in the imagined reality. Detachment turns desire into attraction. One of the most misunderstood principles of love and magnetism is the art of detachment. Many believe that desire must be pushed, chased, or forced in order to be fulfilled. Yet true attraction operates on the exact opposite principle. It thrives in detachment, calm confidence, and self-possession. The moment you release neediness, the moment you stop chasing approval or attention, the energy you radiate transforms. That transformation is magnetic. It is the energy that draws the one who once ignored you directly into your orbit. Desperation, clinging, and longing create tension. They signal lack, incompleteness, and dependence. The world instinctively resists these vibrations. When someone senses that your happiness is contingent on their attention, the energy pushes them away rather than pulling them closer. Detachment is not indifference, it is mastery of your own inner state. It is the conscious decision to find fulfillment within yourself, regardless of external circumstances. When you inhabit this state, you shift from being a pursuer of love to a magnet of love. Detachment requires a deep understanding of self-worth. It demands that you recognize that your value is inherent, immutable, and independent of another person's acknowledgement. When you fully inhabit this understanding, you no longer seek validation from those who ignore you. Instead, you focus on embodying your own vibrancy, joy, and magnetism. This is the energy that reverses dynamics. What once repelled now attracts. Those who overlooked you become naturally curious, drawn to the presence you now embody. Many struggle with detachment because they confuse it with rejection or pushing someone away. Detachment is not about creating distance from love. It is about removing internal neediness while remaining open to the reality you desire. It is about acting and feeling from a place of inner completeness rather than lack. When you let go of neediness, the invisible tension that once repelled the one who ignored you disappears. Attraction flows effortlessly because it is responding to energy, not effort. To cultivate this energy, begin by shifting your focus inward. Replace thoughts of lack with feelings of abundance. Instead of thinking, I need their attention, feel, I am complete, radiant, and worthy of love. As you nurture this state internally, your outer world begins to align. The person who ignored you notices not because you have sought them out, but because your energy has changed. You are no longer asking, you are living as though love is already flowing naturally to you. Detachment also requires trust. Trust that the universe, or the natural law of attraction, works in your favor. When you stop forcing outcomes, the very energy you cultivate begins to operate on its own. You are no longer moving against resistance, you are flowing with it. This flow is magnetic. It carries with it an energy that draws attention, desire, and connection without any effort on your part. Those who once ignored you feel this invisible pull and are drawn, almost unconsciously, toward the energy you now embody. It is essential to practice detachment while maintaining clarity of desire. You do not give up what you want, you simply release the tight grip of neediness. The key is to feel the desired reality as though it is already present, while simultaneously trusting the process. Desire, when paired with detachment, transforms from a source of tension into a source of magnetic attraction. It becomes a force that draws rather than repels, that invites rather than chases. Another aspect of detachment is the ability to live fully in your own joy and purpose. When your life is rich, vibrant, and filled with experiences that bring fulfillment, the need for validation from another fades. Your energy no longer revolves around seeking attention, it radiates abundance. This energy is profoundly attractive. The one who ignored you becomes drawn to your vibrancy, intrigued by the light and confidence you now exude. Detachment is also a practice of emotional mastery. It requires observation without reaction, control without suppression, and confidence without arrogance. When you observe the one who ignored you without becoming agitated, jealous, or fearful, you maintain a state of inner power. Your calm, centered energy communicates value, desirability, and strength. Attraction follows naturally because energy always responds to presence, not pressure. Many fail to realize that detachment accelerates manifestation. The more you release the internal tension of neediness, the faster the universe, or your own subconscious mind, aligns with your desire. What once seemed distant and unattainable begins to shift effortlessly. The person who ignored you does not resist your presence. They respond to the undeniable vibration of completeness and self-possession you now embody. Detachment is the secret that turns desire into effortless attraction. Daily practice strengthens this energy. Begin each day by affirming your completeness. I am whole, vibrant, and magnetic. Love flows naturally to me. Whenever thoughts of the one who ignored you arise, acknowledge them without clinging or seeking. Redirect your energy to the feelings of being cherished, admired, and pursued. Let your imagination and emotions be aligned with the reality you desire. Over time, this practice rewires your internal state, and the external world becomes a mirror of your magnetism. Finally, detachment is not a temporary tactic, it is a lifestyle of inner sovereignty. When you live in this state, you create an aura of irresistible attraction. The one who ignored you will chase not because you have forced it, but because your energy has shifted. They respond to the natural law of vibration. They are drawn to what you are, not what you seek. Detachment turns longing into presence, desire into magnetism, and absence into attention. The power of detachment is profound. It transforms the dynamics of love from struggle to ease, from pursuit to magnetism, from tension to effortless attraction. When you embody detachment fully, the one who ignored you cannot resist the energy you radiate. They are drawn, captivated, and moved by a force that transcends words, actions, or reasoning. The energy of detachment is the ultimate law of love reversal, and mastering it ensures that those who once overlooked you are now the ones who are irresistibly drawn to your presence. Energy shift reverses dynamics. One of the most profound secrets to love attraction and magnetic influence is understanding that energy dictates every interaction and outcome. When someone has ignored you, it is not a reflection of your worth. It is a reflection of the energy you were projecting at that time. Everything in life, every interaction, every glance, and every response is a mirror of vibrational alignment. To change how someone responds, to reverse the dynamics that once left you overlooked or unnoticed, you must first change your energy. This is the heart of the love reversal energy shift. Energy is invisible yet undeniable. It flows from your inner state and extends outward, touching the world and everyone in it. People may try to act indifferent, but energy cuts through all facades. If your presence radiates confidence, magnetism, and self-possession, the person who ignored you will instinctively feel a shift. They may not understand why they are drawn to you, why they suddenly notice your presence, or why they cannot resist the pull. But energy communicates more powerfully than words ever could. The first step in initiating an energy shift is self-awareness. Observe the energy you currently project. Are you vibrating from a place of lack, neediness, or disappointment? Or are you vibrating from a place of abundance, confidence, and joy? This awareness is crucial because the dynamics you experience in love are reflections of your internal state. What was once distance, indifference, or avoidance can shift instantly when your energy changes. Once you understand your current energy, the next step is consciously cultivating a new state. This requires you to feel and inhabit the energy of being desired, pursued, and adored. Do not simply wish for it to happen externally. Immerse yourself fully in the feeling internally. Imagine scenarios where the one who ignored you cannot resist your presence. Feel their attention, their admiration, and their desire as though it is happening now. The universe responds to the reality you live within your consciousness, not the circumstances you see outside. Energy is also cumulative. Every thought, feeling, and action contributes to the overall vibrational field you emit. Small acts of self-love, confidence, and joy compound over time to create an irresistible aura. When you consistently radiate this energy, the one who ignored you cannot help but respond. They are not resisting you, they are responding to a magnetism that is undeniable, irresistible, and inevitable. One of the most fascinating aspects of energy is its ability to reverse previously established dynamics. The person who once held power over you through indifference, distance, or disregard is no longer in control. As your energy shifts, The balance of power subtly changes. What was once their choice to ignore now becomes their inability to resist. This is not manipulation, it is alignment. By embodying the energy of attraction and worth, you naturally reverse the relational dynamic. Energy shift is amplified by consistency and conviction. Temporary bursts of confidence or occasional moments of feeling magnetic are not enough. You must live in the new energy consistently, allowing it to saturate every interaction, every thought, and every gesture. The one who ignored you is responding to the pattern, the constant vibration, not fleeting moments. Over time, your energy becomes a gravitational force, drawing attention, admiration, and desire toward you effortlessly. It is also essential to release all attachment to how the energy manifests externally. The universe, or the law of attraction, operates in ways that may surprise you. The one who ignored you may respond in ways you never anticipated. But the principle remains the same: they respond to your energy, not your control. When your internal state is aligned with the feeling of being magnetic and cherished, the outer world is compelled to mirror that reality. Energy is not limited to your thoughts and imagination. It is expressed in your body, your voice, your gaze, and your presence. Every aspect of your being communicates your internal state. When you walk into a room with the energy of self-possession, when your smile radiates confidence, when your laughter carries joy and warmth, people, especially the one who ignored you, cannot help but be drawn in. Energy is a language that transcends words. It is understood on a level beyond conscious reasoning, compelling attraction and reversing previous dynamics. Another critical aspect of energy shift is forgiveness and release. Clinging to past hurts, rejections, or moments of being ignored keeps your energy tethered to the old reality. To fully embody the energy of love reversal, you must release resentment and replace it with empowerment. When your energy is free from past resistance, it flows unimpeded, radiating magnetism and undeniable attraction. The one who once ignored you responds to the unblocked, vibrant energy of your presence. Daily practice of energy cultivation is transformative. Begin by visualizing scenarios where you are fully magnetic, adored, and pursued. Feel the attention, the warmth, and the desire as though it is occurring in the present moment. Couple this with conscious actions in the outer world, walking confidently, speaking from presence, and maintaining poise. These small yet consistent behaviors reinforce the inner state, anchoring your energy and accelerating the reversal of dynamics. Energy shift also requires trust in the process. The changes may not occur instantly, but the unseen world is always at work. Every internal shift you make is affecting the external world. The one who ignored you may begin noticing subtle changes first: a glance, a message, an increased attentiveness. Gradually, as your energy solidifies, the attraction becomes unmistakable, undeniable, and inescapable. What was once indifference is now curiosity. What was once avoidance is now pursuit. Finally, energy shift is the key to liberation in love. By mastering your inner vibration, you no longer rely on someone else's choices to define your worth or happiness. You step into a state where love flows to you naturally, where attention follows effortlessly, and where those who once ignored you cannot resist the magnetic energy you now radiate. The reversal of dynamics is a natural consequence of alignment, inner power, and the conscious cultivation of irresistible energy. When you fully embrace the principle of energy shift, you understand that love is not a battle, a negotiation, or a game. It is a reflection of the energy you carry. The one who ignored you responds not to your words, your efforts, or your persuasion, but to the indisputable frequency of your being. By shifting your energy, you reverse the dynamics, turn neglect into pursuit, and transform indifference into irresistible attraction. The power to create this reversal has always been within you. It is simply a matter of awakening it, sustaining it, and living it consistently. Living in the end transforms love. The final and most powerful key to reversing love dynamics is the art of living in the end. To live in the end means to fully inhabit the reality you desire as though it is already true. It is the practice of embodying the feeling of being pursued, adored, and irresistibly magnetic, not as a distant hope or wish, but as your current state of being. This principle holds the transformative power to turn indifference into devotion and to make the one who ignored you incapable of resisting your presence. Many people wait for external circumstances to validate their desires. They hope, they chase, they plead, and they measure reality by what is currently visible. But the law of manifestation, especially in love, operates on the principle that the end must be lived first within consciousness. When you occupy the end, you impress the subconscious mind with the certainty of your desired reality. The outer world, which is a reflection of your inner state, cannot help but conform. The one who ignored you is drawn to the vibration you now embody because it represents a reality they cannot resist. Living in the end begins with clear vision and feeling. You must define the love you desire in vivid emotional terms. See yourself in scenarios where your presence captivates, where attention flows naturally, and where desire is reciprocated fully. Hear the words they would speak, see the gestures of affection, feel the warmth of their gaze, and immerse yourself in the delight of being cherished. This is not imagination as mere fantasy, it is imagination anchored in the certainty of reality. Your inner state becomes the blueprint for external manifestation. The essence of living in the end lies in feeling the state as real now, and already fulfilled. If you feel incomplete, doubtful, or resistant, you are living in a reality of lack, and the universe mirrors that state. But when your feelings align with the reality you desire, when you feel adored, magnetic, and pursued, the universe responds immediately, orchestrating events and circumstances to reflect that inner certainty. The one who ignored you cannot resist a vibration that is fully realized within you. A crucial component of living in the end is consistency. It is not enough to feel magnetic or adored intermittently. Your energy must saturate every thought, every gesture, and every moment of consciousness. Repetition is the foundation of manifestation. As you consistently live in the end, your subconscious mind absorbs the certainty of your desire and begins to translate it into external reality. Gradually, you notice subtle shifts, the glance that lingers, the message that arrives, the unexpected interest. These are signs that your inner state is beginning to shape the outer world. Living in the end also requires detachment from current appearances. What you see outwardly may not yet match your desire. The one who ignored you may still act indifferent or distant. This is irrelevant. Outer circumstances are merely the shadow of the inner reality. By focusing on the feeling of the end rather than the visible lack, you align yourself with the inevitable outcome. The energy of certainty and fulfillment is more persuasive than any external effort. The ignored becomes the pursuer, drawn to the reality you already inhabit internally. Visualization is a powerful tool in this process. Imagine scenarios where attention flows naturally, where connection is effortless, and where desire is undeniable. Do this in vivid detail, engaging all senses and saturating the experience with emotion. Feel the joy of being admired, the thrill of being pursued, and the serenity of being fully acknowledged. By living in these moments internally, you create a magnetic field that compels external reality to conform. The one who ignored you responds to your internal certainty, not their past behavior. Living in the end also requires alignment of belief and emotion. Belief is the acceptance of the imagined reality as true, while emotion is the energy that powers it. When belief and emotion are combined, they form a force that cannot be resisted. The one who ignored you will find themselves drawn to you, because your energy communicates a certainty and vibrancy that they cannot deny. They are responding not to persuasion or effort, but to the unmistakable law of attraction operating through your conscious state. Another vital aspect is letting go of control and resistance. You do not dictate the exact methods, timing, or behaviors of the person you desire. You simply live in the end, radiate the energy, and allow the universe to orchestrate the outcome. This surrender is not weakness, it is power. It releases tension, amplifies magnetism, and accelerates manifestation. The one who ignored you will find themselves responding naturally, guided by the invisible force of your internal reality. Living in the end transforms not only love but also your sense of self. You step into a state of wholeness, completeness, and empowerment. You no longer measure your worth by external attention because your inner reality is already fulfilled. This energy is magnetic, irresistible, and undeniable. The one who ignored you becomes captivated because they sense a presence that is fully alive, radiant, and self-possessed. They are drawn to what you are, not what you seek, and they cannot resist the reality you now inhabit. Daily practice enhances the power of living in the end. Begin each day by immersing yourself in the reality you desire. See it, feel it, and speak as though it is already yours. Carry yourself with the certainty that love flows naturally toward you. Whenever doubts arise, return to the feeling of fulfillment, anchoring yourself in the end. Over time, your inner reality becomes unshakable, and the outer world, including the one who ignored you, responds inevitably. Finally, Understand that living in the end is the ultimate key to love reversal. It is the principle that transforms longing into magnetism, absence into attention, and indifference into pursuit. The one who ignored you is not resisting. They are responding to a reality you have already claimed within. By living as if your desire is fulfilled, by feeling it as real, and by embodying it consistently, you create a force that cannot be denied. The energy of love, attention, and attraction flows to you naturally, effortlessly, and irresistibly. Living in the end is the secret to mastery in love. It is the practice of inhabiting the desired reality fully, radiating its energy, and allowing the world to respond. Those who once overlooked or ignored you cannot resist a state that is already complete, magnetic, and alive. By embracing this principle, you command the invisible forces that govern attraction and manifest love with certainty, grace, and irresistible power.